Okay, let's get started. One of the things I want to do before we get started is I'm going to tell you a true story. Last week, I had probably what was, I felt anyway, probably one of the best sessions that I did. I was absolutely awesome. I said some really great stuff. And I'm just going to turn this off on the other side. I listened to it after and I didn't record my voice. I had a small technical error based on the fact that I have two separate machines, three different monitors, and an iPad and an iPhone and a MacBook Air monitor and two different microphones. I got a bunch of different microphones all over the place. And in fact, I did not record my voice. So I had probably one of the best sessions I thought I ever did. I answered lots of great questions. It was awesome, but I didn't record any of it, and I had to delete it, and I couldn't use it. So what I'm trying to do now is, since on these ones I'm by myself, I figured, hey, it would probably be a really good idea if I had another notebook set up beside me and made sure that I was making some sound and it was recording something. So it certainly looks like we do have a recording today. So I'm quite pleased about that. We're going to save some sound and have that available after the fact if you've missed it. So my name is James. If you haven't joined us before, we do these every Wednesday. It's just a chance for you to ask some questions and to maybe hear me rant if you don't have any questions about membership sites, online courses, training sites, teaching online, all of the stuff in around building communities, marketing your courses, creating courses. There's just a lot of really, really neat stuff happening in this whole space. So I'll get on, rant a little bit. Again, if you have any questions, make sure to just put them in the chat beside, or if you're listening to it after the fact, don't be afraid to put it in the comments and I'll help you out. And of course, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel and or visit one of my campuses, and you can register there for free and get access to a lot of material that we've done previously, organized in the form of mini courses or micro courses, and of course some big paid courses. So what do you want to do today? What are we going to do? Well, I'll show you a couple things actually that I get set up here on a regular basis. And I'm just going to open up a couple tools that we have, and I'll see if I can get this to open for us. And it's kind of interesting because one of the things, I was sitting around today actually waiting at an appointment out of the office. And one of the things that is interesting for me as a content creator is you have a tendency, like, I want to do videos. I want to make sure that I do a lot of videos, and I have all these ideas for videos. And I was thinking about it and I was going, well, what is it that people actually need, or actually more importantly have time for? And I think that's a big problem for many of us now as we're trying to figure out all the different pieces to to building your business and to helping people. And one of the things, let me just see if I trying to open a screen on the other side here. One of the things that is interesting is that in as much as I would like to create videos, I'm not sure that people actually need videos now. What they more importantly probably might need is, in fact, checklists. So one of the things that we do here is we create a lot of checklists for ourselves internally, but I think what I'm going to do is actually spend some time making those checklists available, because instead of watching a big video, or not even big video, but even 4 minutes, 5-minute video, at the end of it, you're getting a checklist, right? It's like, here, this is what you do, checklist. If you need some detail on how all of these checklists go together and what actually fits in with those particular pieces, or how you implement stuff within the checklist, that's obviously something that needs to be taught, that you want to learn how to do. But at the end of the day, if you know something, I find it personally pretty hard just to keep up to date with making sure that I do all of the pieces. And that's where I think the checklist can really come in and be helpful. So that's one of the things I think I'm going to spend some time on. If you have any thoughts on that, or you're looking for checklists on a particular topic or something that's of interest to you, please make sure let me know, and I'll do my best to put together a checklist for you. And let me just see if I have one of these ones here. I'm going to open up. Let me just do this. I'm going to open up a browser. See what we can do with the browser here. There we go. I don't want to show that one. Let's see what we got here. Okay. I'm going to show, in this case, we're going to open up. Actually, let me do this one instead. And of course, I'm having some technical errors. There we go. Okay, so here's the website, our main website, just to see what's there. And the thing that happens with this, obviously, is that we have two pieces of. One is the agency side, one is the actual course side. And when we do work on an agency side, we have a specific grouping or listing of tasks that we do or provide for people as who are agency clients, and things around creating a course, marketing a course, organizing a community, growing the community, maintaining the community. But there's all sorts of different tasks that we do, and we actually build out task lists that are specific to all the things that are involved in training and membership sites. And that's what I wanted to do, is actually show you one. I'm not going to show on this particular screen because, of course, it's not coming up the way I wanted to, so we'll work around that in the short term. But I wanted to just kind of go through some of the questions or tasks that people ask about, and more importantly, should consider if you are in fact going to be using a membership site. So these are things that happen all of the time. These are questions that come up all of the time, and you really don't have any control over the fact that that you do have to do or take care of them or work on them. So let me just put it this way for a second. Let's say you are a small business. You excuse me, have a bunch of distributors who are selling for you, and you want to make sure that they're able to present and sell what it is that you provide. You want to make sure that they are trained properly to basically go out and promote you. Maybe you have internal staff that you want to make sure that they're trained properly, and you want them to be able to do specific tasks or follow a specific process, and you want to find a way to do that. Or maybe you're just an expert, you're a subject matter expert, you've got an interest in some particular area, and you're thinking, man, I'd really like to teach people how to do this. Or if I do teach people how to do this, is this something that would be of interest to them and they want to spend some time learning about it? And maybe would they even want to pay for it and spend a little bit of money on it? So I've talked about previously in other sessions, I've talked about the difference between having a WordPress based business or using a software as a service or a third party business for your community, your membership, and your courses. So right now I'm gonna look at it just specifically from the WordPress side. And again, different strokes for different folks. Some of them fit a little bit better based in the rest of your business model. So what I wanted to do today is go through maybe some of the questions that you should have, or perhaps you should be asking yourself if you're considering, and you are one of those people that are wondering, how do I teach something online, or how do I create a course, or how do I start building a community of people who like and know me, or I want to like and know me, and I want to share what it is that we're doing, or I want to be in a position where that we can build a community and monetize it around this particular area of interest. So what are the questions that come up? What are the things that people ask on a regular basis? Especially when it comes to WordPress. And there's a couple of reasons why WordPress is really important, because the first one is it's easy to use. You can make it difficult, but for the most part, it's easy to use. There is a ton of information on how to use the basics and get your feet with WordPress. And the part that's nice about it, for the most part, everything that you add to it works in an identical fashion. So the interface is consistent. no matter how you extend it. So that's really nice. It's very easy to use. It's got a user-friendly interface. It's got a simple dashboard that people can move through quickly without any prior knowledge, although it'd be great if you had some. And if you do need some, there's lots available. But it's pretty straightforward and self-explanatory from an administrator or from the dashboard. And of course, I mentioned customizable, thousands of plugins that are available that allow you to extend or enhance the features and functions of WordPress. One of the ones we use, of course, is one like LearnDash, which is a learning management software plugin, and that allows you to have courses and present or distribute online courses on your own WordPress site. So there's all sorts of different plugins and all sorts of different categories that are available to you, and it gives you a lot of freedom on to what you end up extending your WordPress site by. But again, everything to do with plugins and also the look and feel. So it's not just the features or functions of your WordPress site. It's more importantly the look and feel. So colors, fonts, styles, logos, images, all of that stuff is highly customizable. And again, it makes it easy to make your course or membership site or learning campus or training site. It allows you to make it look consistent with your business and with your brand. The other thing is when I talk about functions, for the most part, and again, I'm using pretty generic terms here, but even if you want to extend it, there's a big choice of ways that you can extend it for the same features or functions. So for example, for an LMS is one that we use, a learning management software, learning management system. We use one called LearnDash, which is a WordPress plugin, but there are other plugins other than LearnDash that do the exact same thing. So you're not just limited to one plugin or one way to do the function. You have a bunch of choices available, all with their own approach to enhancing this flexibility. So you got a lot of variety in plugins that are available to you. The other thing is scalable. I've seen membership sites with 10 people. I've seen membership sites with 10,000 people. I've seen membership sites with 100,000 people. And you have that scalable ability with WordPress to be able to enhance or extend or grow your community with WordPress. The only part that you're going to need at the back of this is, of course, the hosting to support it. WordPress supports it. You just have to make sure that you have the hosting that WordPress runs on that allows you to scale that way. And then content, especially with all the AI tools and things that are happening right now, there is a huge growth in the amount of content that is being generated. And WordPress is a content management software. So it's a CMS. It's designed for managing content. The more content that you want to put into it, the better it is in being able to manage, enhance, organize all of that content that you're adding. And if it's not just courses, it doesn't have to be just courses. It can be just about anything, right? So these are all important things to kind of think about when you're playing around with this. As you're going, okay, so where do I, what do I need to do with WordPress? I'm managing all this content. What else is important? Well, that's the inside part. You also have the outside part. What I'm talking about is generating demand. And one of the ways that WordPress does that really well is what's called organic traffic, or traffic that comes without you having to do anything in terms of outbound marketing activities. And the big one is SEO, or search engine optimization. And even though you do have a community site or a membership site where you may have some content locked down, WordPress is still an excellent tool for search engine optimization and ranking highly in Google and some of the other search platforms where people may be still looking for you. One of the things that's interesting that has come up recently, I've heard a lot of people commenting saying that there's going to be less search going on because more people are going to be using ChatGPT to get answers to questions, not searching for them themselves, but in fact, just doing a ChatGPT prompt and figuring, okay, here's my answer. And I think there's some truth in that, but I have a feeling that the people who are going to be searching and need the most help aren't going to be using ChatGPT. They won't be. They won't. They'll probably be a little bit not only put off by it, but they probably won't be as comfortable using that kind of tool, and they're still going to be using search requests. So there's still value in search engine and optimization, and more importantly, there's still value in creating content, lots of content that is search optimized, that enhances or is over and above the content that you may keep just in your membership site. And again, the other big thing is when you're thinking about WordPress is the ability for integrating with other parts of your business, which is a really valuable benefit, because what it allows you to do at that point is include not only the membership site, but any other products, services, things that you do in your business. WordPress is open to have that joined together and integrated. And I'll give you an example of that. One of the things that we have is we have multiple websites, and you can get into trouble with multiple websites and multiple web properties because it sometimes can be very hard to keep track of which user has plugged into or is logged into which WordPress site, or if someone has purchased something here on this WordPress site, have they purchased something on another WordPress site? The username and password, are they the same or different? How do you keep track of it? And there's a lot of tools on WordPress that allow you to integrate not only multiple sites, but also tools other than WordPress to bring them all together. So those are just some of the reasons that WordPress is a great idea in terms of building out your training or membership site. But at the end of the day, you have to be comfortable with it, and you're probably going to have to think about some more questions about considering your membership site. So I'm looking at it just from the perspective of WordPress today, but there's also a bunch of other different areas that that you might want to spend some time on it there. And let's take a look at that right now. The first thing I want to kind of discuss is, some people say, well, what is a membership site? And if you haven't asked yourself that yet, maybe you should go back and say, what is a membership site? What actually is a membership site? And I would love to say that there's a cut and dry answer for a membership site, but there are so many variations of it. I'm going to try and boil it down to one simple idea. A membership site is something that requires registration. So in the case of our WordPress membership and training site, at some point you have to have a username or an email address and a password. You have to register, and then you have to log in order to receive access to something. So you have to become a member. So for example, think of it as a admission price. And a simple membership site, the admission price is an email address and a registration. That's all you have to pay. You become a member if you give me your email address. If you give me your email address or a username and a password, and I use an email address as kind of the currency, right? If you give me your email address, I will give you access to something that's in my membership site. If, in my case, I'm having a membership site, if you don't give me your email address and you don't register to become a member, I'm not going to give you some of the content. So I'm using that payment of an email address as a way to become a member. And that's the part that gets difficult, is because some people think that if I have a membership site, does it have to be a paid membership site? Paid, I'm thinking about how much currency, right? How much money do you get paid? Think of it this way. Currency does not have to be money. In my case, what called a free membership site, in fact, is not free. You're paying me with your email address. So that is a form of currency for me, maybe not for you, but it is for me. So if I have a membership site, or I'm building out a community, which I use in the same kind of term as a membership site, is that I have to register to become part of it. And if that registration may be paid with dollars or some other form of currency like an email address. But if you're building out any kind of membership site, the very, very minimum is someone's going to have to give you something. And in my case, it's an email address. And for most parts on WordPress, it is an email address is that form of currency. And how does it work? It works as if they log in after they've registered, you're giving them something or making something available to them that would not be available if they had not become a member or had not registered. So that's how a membership site basically works. And there's no set rule on what the amount has to be, no set rule on what has to be protected or given in exchange for the email address. And in fact, there's in as many different ideas that you have, some of them may work, some of them might work for other people. You have to play around and kind of decide, where does my membership site model fit? Or what am I going to do as a membership or a community? Do I have anything to give that's worthwhile that people are going to pay me at least with an email address on? So there's lots to think through on how that fits into your business and whether it's even a valid business model for you. But at the end of the day, people are going to have to register for something. So that's kind of the first thing. If you're asking yourself now, okay, so yeah, I think I want a membership site model, you might be asking yourself, okay, well, why do I want to create one? What's the benefit of a membership site for me? And there's a whole bunch of different benefits, of course, but I think the first one is for a membership site model is that you're going to have people give you an email address. And I think the thing that is kind of got lost for a lot of people, especially younger marketers, is with the rise of social media and followers, that kind of thing. You do not own your followers unless you have their email address and you have a way to reach them outside of the platform that they're on. So if you have so many people that are following you on TikTok, or you have so many people who are subscribed to your YouTube channel, or you have Facebook friends, or whatever it happens to be, or Instagram followers, you do not have those as part of a membership site unless they have given you, in my opinion, an email address. So you want to make sure that in everything that you do when you're building out these communities of people, it's really a membership, and the value comes when you own their email address. Because if you think of an email address is an entrance into their world. It is an entrance that you control. If someone is subscribed to your channel, for example, or someone is subscribed to some of your newsletter, but they haven't given you their email address, they are in control of when they consume your product, whether that's a new video or some kind of Instagram post, whatever you happen to do. But the person that has subscribed through the social media platform, they're the one that's in control of when they consume your content. You may publish it, but you have no control as to whether or not they take a look at it. On the other hand, if I have your email address and I go, man, I got something brand new, I can send an email that goes directly into your inbox of your email client, and it brings the link to you. Now, of course, I can't guarantee that you're going to read your email, but the majority of people that I know who do have an internet or internet access do have an email account. So there is an inbox that people can reach. Now, this is also true in some respects to SMS or your smartphone messaging, so instant messaging on your mobile device. But again, that one you have a little bit less control on because you're limited to the platform that you are publishing on. In my case, email address is broad, it's wide ranging. It allows me to go into your inbox or into your world on my choice, and it's not limited to creating content. So if I'm, if I have, I just do a post and maybe someone is subscribing to notifications, but I don't have any control on sending something unless I post something, right? With email, I'm in a position where I can go, hey, I got someone else that's doing something, or I'm going to be doing something in the future, or I did something in the past, and I can reach out to your inbox and have some real input or a door or entryway into your world, into your market, into what's going on with you. So, that's, I have a membership site. You're thinking about it. What are the things I want to make sure that I spend time with? At that registration, that email is the real value, I think, for membership sites. The other thing that happens, of course, is consistency. So, if I'm thinking about, I think I mentioned before, is like the only time that I'm going to get instant message to you in group is if I post something and you're subscribed to it through one of the social media platforms. So it's limited to that social media platform, and it's limited to when I post or add new content to that platform. In my case, I'm in a position where that email address allows me to be in control of what gets sent from what platform and sending people to a different location. So having that ability or that flexibility gives me the opportunity for growth that I don't necessarily have. And a membership site is, think of it this way, as if I have the opportunity to send someone, that membership site is a way for me to funnel or focus all of the people that I'm working with and bring them to my own location. If I, for example, I want to send something out, I'm sending an Instagram reel and I'm doing a YouTube short, I'm sending someone to YouTube. I'm sending someone to Instagram. I'm sending someone to whatever the other social media platform is, to TikTok, whatever. But I'm not sending them to my property. I'm sending them to someone else's property. So the other part of a membership site is, when you're using WordPress, is you're now you own the platform that people are being sent to. So I've got an email address and I've got my own platform. I can still do social media posting. I can still be involved in social media for lead generation and content creation. All of that's really important, but the value of the membership site is it's your pie. You are the one with the pie. You are in the control of the location where people are being sent to. Okay, so those are kind of the two real big ones I want to kind of talk about. And that's only, I haven't even talked about money yet, right? So if you are charging money for membership or giving people the ability to become a member, you are in a far better situation when, or in terms of revenue, is if you have a membership. And what do I mean by that? Because it is a closed loop or a closed system for yourself, you can charge money in the way that you want for access to the content that is of value to the potential customers or clients that are doing business with you. And that means you can do things like recurring revenue, where you can make one sale and have people pay on a monthly basis, a quarterly basis, a yearly basis. Again, all sorts of different models there, but you now have a revenue stream that is far more consistent than if you were trying to make one-way sales. The other thing, of course, is that I mentioned it earlier, it's like you make one sale, you have continuing revenue. It's not like you make a sale once, you get some money, then you have to make another sale and get some more money, and another sale and get some more money. You make a one-time sale. So it's far more efficient in terms of being able to generate revenue for your business and grow your business if you can set up the membership site in a way that earns recurring passive income for yourself. Okay, so we could spend weeks, well, I don't know about weeks, it's kind of long, but we could spend a long time going through all the different monetization or membership models. But at the end of the day, just remember that it's far easier in terms of marketing and growing your business when you have a consistent recurring revenue, when it is when you're just out struggling or working all the time to make your next sale, to get the next bit of income in. So, try and do your best to think about, how can I generate passive recurring income from what I'm already doing and make as few sales as I need to make in order to start generating that stream of income. Okay. The other thing I just kind of want to talk on right now, and I'll just take a look here and see if we've got, see if anyone's actually come on for some questions here. I don't think so. So no questions, that's fine today. I'm just going to rant some more because I like doing it. And we'll go back and talk a little bit more. The other thing I want to kind of chat about is um, what kind of content should I offer on my membership site? What kind of stuff should I put in? And I think there's a I wouldn't say a mistake, but there's an idea or maybe a wrong impression that a membership site has to have video. And this happens all the time now, especially now with people on smartphones and people being able to to quickly create video content. They think that the only time you can have a membership site is if you have video content. And that's just not the case. Video is only one content type that can be added into a membership site. Remember, a membership site requires registration, either an email address at the minimum for most businesses, but it doesn't have to be just video. They're paying an email address. We have the opportunity to give any kind of content or make any kind of content available to people as long as it's of value to them and that's something that they want to consume. Now, I've seen people who have a paid email newsletter, which is technically a form of a membership, right? The content that they have, the membership site, is a monthly newsletter or a weekly newsletter that goes out to people, and they have to pay in order to receive that content. So it is a newsletter membership, but that newsletter just might be an email text and nothing more than that. If you go and look at many of the successful membership sites, you'll see that they have multiple streams of content that are complementary to each other, and some of them aren't. They're supplementary to each other. And there's all sorts of different flavors of the same content that people like. And I talked about it earlier at the start. One of the things that often happens now is that people may want to watch a video to learn how to do something, but it would be great if they had a checklist or a standard operating procedure on how to implement what was taught in that video. There may be audio podcasts, there may be PDFs, there may be ebooks, there may be written content or blog posts, there may be email newsletters, there may be journals, there may be all sorts of content, not only digital, but also physical content that can be sent out to people as part of that membership. So all sorts of different content. It doesn't have to be video. Video just happens to be probably the most effective way in sharing information and being able to do something in a virtual format, which is effective and also quick to be able to create and consume. And that's the real benefit, I think, to people, especially now, is if you have the option between reading a 50-page ebook, listening to an entire podcast, or being able to go through a time-stamped video, you're far more effective use of time, not only in the way that you're actually learning or it's being taught to you, but your ability to consume that content and move on. So, that's why video is popular, but it doesn't have to be video only. And there's all sorts of other valuable things that people can use as part of the membership. And if you think about memberships, I talked about, virtual or digital products. If you went to Blockbuster or if you're a member of Costco, you pay a membership fee in exchange for something. In their case, you may get some special, if you're an Amazon member, you get next day delivery, where, Amazon Prime you may not have got before. If you go to Costco, you have to pay to become a Costco member in order to shop there. If you're old enough to know what a Blockbuster was, you had to have a membership, be a Blockbuster member in order to rent physical videos from people, or CDs or DVDs or whatever it was. So just be open to all sorts of content, thinking about what is it that I have to give to people in exchange for the money or their email address. What is it they need to consume, and what is the outcome that I'm promising people? And that's the one thing, if you're thinking about the what you should use in terms of content for your membership site, at the end of the day, the important part, in my opinion, is if it is a training site, is you want to be able to say, this is the transformation, or this is the outcome that I'm providing to you. And then you got to figure out what is the content that I need and what is the format of that content that I need to be able to provide that outcome to you. So, some of it may not be video. Some of it may not be audio. Some may not be a checklist. So think about what's the outcome I'm promising and what is it that I'm going to provide to people. And I think one of the other things, and when I say membership site, and the other word that I haven't used is community. Community is a different kind of product, and that is the product of interaction with other people. And there's a lot of value in there in terms of your membership site, your training site, having a community of people who have a common interest. And their ability to interact and learn from each other is a huge value of membership site. And that's the real benefit, I think, moving forward and building up memberships and membership sites and training sites is growing your community or the members of people who are involved in what it is that you're showing them how to do, teaching them about, or having the transformation that you're promising and guiding them on that transformation. The ability to share the content and their other experiences with people, again, is a huge value. And the bigger your community, the bigger an asset it is. The more your community interacts with each other, the bigger the asset that community is. So, membership site, training site, community, teaching online, all of the different kinds of content. This is all valuable for people, and you can have different kinds of content in there, and you can have different kinds of pricing or access to that content. One of the things I just want to kind of chat about before is that when I talk about training sites or membership sites or community sites, I think the real value that we're going to see moving forward is this whole notion of community sites or the user-generated content or your community-generated content that's going to be of real value to small businesses who are adding membership sites to their revenue stream or their product stream. And is going to be a huge asset, but it can also be something that can be very, very, very hard to manage after the fact. So often we run into customers who start a membership site, but they think that they can just leave the membership site by itself. You have to have advocates or people within that membership site to guide the members, to moderate the members, and more importantly, keep a pulse on what it is that's important to the members and to make sure that they're staying on track for the particular outcome or the particular community that you're wanting to build. Because just the same way as a social media platform has an ebb and flow, your community can have an ebb and flow, and you have to be very careful that you keep your community on track based on what it is that you're trying to provide in that membership site. So spend some time thinking about, okay, great, I'm building a membership site, I'm building a training site, I want to grow a community of people who are interested in this particular topic or idea or outcome. I have to make sure that I'm going to invest some time and keep them focused on that particular outcome. Okay. One of the other questions that I get asked a lot of the time is, how do I price my memberships? And I don't have a good answer for you off the top of my head because every situation is a little bit different. And again, it really depends on what the purpose of the membership site is. Is it to help you sell another product or service? Is it to be a standalone product or service? Is it meant to be an upsell for another product or service? Is it meant to be something that is a monthly income or a yearly income? Is it something that's meant to be a blended membership where you have virtual or digital products or services, but you might have coaching or time or additional physical assets that are involved in it? So the one thing that I will say is it's been my experience that you either have a binary kind of choice where it's paid or not paid. So it's like you either pay to get access or you don't pay, you don't get access. Those are the ones that I've seen that have been pretty consistent for a certain kind of content that's being provided. And on the other hand, the one that I've seen that has worked well is a good, better, best model. And what that means is that you have an entry level, the optimal method, and then the upsale. So, there's different kind of pricing models in that one. and you can go into a lot of detail on that. But often I've seen that good, better, best one work well if people have a supplemental product or service that is more expensive than just the membership site, and they use that membership or membership access as kind of a lead magnet or a way to get people involved and want to be able or be in a position where they're going to have to go and purchase something more expensive or add another product or service to what they're already doing to be able to grow or get the outcome that they want. So binary, in or out, or the good, better, best are kind of the two different models that we see. And again, it's really based on what kind of product or service you're offering, or how many products and services you're offering, and who you're offering it to. You have a particular product that isn't worth in terms of value, or it's very competitive. You're going to have to think about, what is it that I have that is of compelling value to someone who's actually going to pay me some money for it. Because it doesn't necessarily mean just because you can create a membership site that what you're offering is worth a membership site. Some people may not want to pay you their email address. That's not a membership site, or that's not something that's valuable enough for members only. So just something to think about there. Different membership levels, price my membership kind of in there. Let me just look at some of the other ones that I have here. One of the other things that's kind of interesting that comes up on a regular time is something called member churn or membership churn. And what does that mean, and how does it fit in? So this is something to consider if you are creating a membership site and you have content that you are providing, and you maybe have an outcome that you're providing. So think of it this way, is if I want to learn how to do something, but learning how to do that only takes a month, and I try and sell a membership site that says, hey, it's X number of dollars monthly, and you keep on paying monthly, and you get access to the information and the process and the outcome that I'm promising that takes you 30 days. Now, on the 31st day, if I had the great training or the great membership content, I provided it to you, you got what you wanted, are you going to continue paying monthly? Probably not, unless there's something else of value that you can introduce after that month. So membership churn is if I sell you on the idea of becoming a member, how long is that person on average, or all of your members on average, how long are they going to remain a member? And if you don't have your business or membership site or training site set up, or your community created in a way that continually adds value each month, or provides an outcome or information that is still worth that monthly payment or the subscription or membership amount that you've paid, people are going to leave. So you've got to think about, I got a membership site. Oh, great. I got a membership site. Here's my book, my ebook. Here's my 4 videos. I'm going to get monthly income. No, doesn't happen that way. You're going to have membership site churn unless you can provide additional value over time. And this is something that runs, that you have to think about when you're doing your pricing models, right? Because a lot of times, if you have something that that takes a considerable amount of time to actually provide the outcome or learn, or there's nothing to learn after you've got that one kind of process, you have to go, am I going to do a monthly model for my membership site? And maybe it's a one-time purchase, right? You may have a one-time purchase, or people get access to lifetime or for a year, as an example, to the content. So you got to play around with these things and think about, how much content do I have to continually, or how much value do I have to continually provide in exchange for what amount of money, or what is it that I'm going to pay? And that part where it doesn't match up, that is the churn. That is the amount of people that leave and stop paying and stop wanting access to your content because it's not worth what you're providing to them. So membership churn is really something to to watch. And I think the real value to a monthly membership site is understanding your churn. Now, why is that? Because if you want to grow your membership, or you want to be in a position where you're growing your membership revenue, if you're charging money for it, you have to make sure that you have more people who are joining on a regular basis than you have people who are quitting on a regular basis. And having that high churn rate means that you may have to get a new member to make up for the member that you lost. You're going to have the same income. You're not going to grow your income. So you want to minimize churn, and you want to maximize the amount of time that people remain a paying member with you. Again, this is a part of the whole thing of moderating content, business models, putting it all together in a way that provides value. And I think the one thing that often happens now, and is happening more often than not, is the idea of community and user-generated content is a way for you as the membership or the training site owner. You're in a position where it's not you having to come up with new content every week. It's having that interaction with your community that provides enough value in order for people to continue to want to pay or still remain a member. And you can minimize churn by maximizing the quality of the user-generated content that you have. And that saves up a couple things. So one thing is time, because it's not you creating the content, it's you or someone on your team moderating the content that's being created by the community. And more importantly, it gives you the ability to be out interfacing with people who can be potentially new members. So it frees up a lot of extra space too for the content that you do create. It doesn't have to necessarily be from you. It can be interviewing or talking to people in the community, sharing their experiences and packaging their experiences in a way that's helpful to the other members, whether they be new or old. Okay. What are some of the other questions I had here? I had 10 questions down just to kind of think about it. Common payment models. I'm going to talk about the two that I think are the big important ones here. Of course, the big one is the email address. For a free membership level, you have to minimum get the email address so that you can interact with them and be able to try and monetize them in other ways other than the actual membership site. And the other one is Stripe. If you don't have a Stripe account yet, the Stripe account is free to register for. And I believe I'm in North America, so as far as I know, all North Americans can register a Stripe account, and it's a payment gateway that allows you and your WordPress site in order to take payments, whether they be monthly or yearly or one-time payments, take credit card payments. Stripe's going to pay you the money. They're going to keep 2.7 or 2.9%, I believe. They'll keep that for themselves. They'll give you the rest, but they're taking the credit card details from your new member, and they take that payment gateway. So Stripe is the big one. The only time I've seen issues with Stripe is depending on the type of content in your membership site. And I'll give you an example. I've had some customers who, what's the word? I don't want to use that example, but I have some customers who have sold or are selling products or services that may have some legal restrictions in some areas or states, for example, or parts of a country, and Stripe just doesn't want to do business with them. So there's some other ways to kind of look at it, but for the most part, all the business that we've run into, except for a couple, are going to be able to use Stripe and or PayPal, which is another one to use, but I recommend getting Stripe, and an email address is the most important part in terms of collecting money or payments or getting actually paid by it. And Stripe's kind of nice because they'll actually take the money, they do the credit card, they do everything securely. They give you access to the funds only in a couple days, at least in North America. Here in Canada, where I'm at, I think it takes 2 or 3 business days now. And in the States, I think it's the next business day you actually get money deposited to you. So you get paid quickly, pretty straightforward. And I haven't had any real troubles with people, not having payments taken properly with Stripe, and they only take a small amount, so don't have to worry about it. Kind of gets done and taken care of for yourself. So how long I've been going here? 50 minutes already. I get talking on these things, and it's kind of funny because in as much as I there's so many things to cover. I have a I have a map. It's called my campus blueprint. And I think right now, and this is what I was getting into checklist. I have a campus blueprint. There's 10 kind of key steps, and the campus mastery course is built on the campus blueprint. So we have a ton of videos covering all of the different parts about starting, or researching, starting, building, growing your training business, your membership site, your community. There's all of these pieces about it, and each of them have sections and subsections and pieces. A big checklist of it. But when I come on to these calls, I'll often write down kind of 5 questions or 10 questions that I get. But when I look at the points or the checklists that go within each of them, there's probably a couple thousand different things to think of with all of the different variations of it. So, in as much as it's easy to get started, which it is quite easy to get started, getting it your membership site, your training site configured to the way that you want to do business is the part that takes a long time. One of the things we do for clients is we can actually have a training and membership site set up for you in about an hour. So we can have a WordPress site that does all sorts of things. You can do online courses, you can do content management, you can do gamification where you can actually award people for completing tasks. You can add your course content. You can have community portions, discussion forums, member profiles, everything. A complete community takes us about an hour to get it set up from start to finish. On the other hand, to look and see all the different membership site models, the different ways you're going to do gamification, certification, kinds of courses that you're going to have, there's hundreds and hundreds of options. And that's why we had to actually create the agency side of the business, which we do that for you and work with you to fit in the membership site or the training site or the community that you want to build that supports your business. Or here's the courses and just do it yourself. So if you are interested, go check out the website, trainingsite.io. Will bring you to the training site. There's tons of courses and videos there. Do it for yourself, but there's also the done for you campus part. And I think what I'll do is I am going to start putting some of the checklists up just so that you can go through these, and we'll break down each of those steps and take a look and say, here are the options, here are the things that you have to do. If you already know how to do some of these pieces, for example, you're comfortable with WordPress, you understand, you may have an existing course, you just want to put it into a plugin. That's something you may want to do yourself with learn how to do it, or just fine tune it by watching some of the video courses we have, or you just may want a checklist that says, did I do this? Did I do this? Did I do this? So we'll have both of them there. And again, if there are any questions, make sure to sign up on our site and go in, poke around, ask some questions here in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe. We're going to add a whole bunch more content. And I think what I'll do is I'll bring that in for landing. I just want to thank you for listening, because I know it can get ranting pretty quickly and it gets all over the place. That's why we break it into micro courses and mini courses. And I just want to talk about one other thing that I did do that I'm going to start to do shortly. And I mean, just started to do. There is an actual service, which is a AI enhanced service called video.ai, and that's vidyo.ai. And what it does, and you probably might be asking, why am I doing these long videos? Not only because I like to, but more importantly, I have now 50 minutes or 55 minutes of content that can be sliced, diced, and repurposed to be used in other areas of the business. So video.ai, vidyo.ai, will actually take this entire video and it will cut it into pieces that can be used for micro courses, that can be used on YouTube Shorts, they can be used on TikTok videos. They will actually cut it and edit the content and put it into chunks, not only in the cutting of when the video starts and stops, but also the formats that are available, taking it from a widescreen like we have right now and putting it into a vertical format for some of the smartphone platforms. So there's all sorts of exciting stuff happening here in membership sites. I urge you to take a look at it. You can also book a time with us, and we'll talk to you for 14 minutes. And that's right, 14 minutes. You tell us about your business. I'll give you an audit or tell you exactly what you should be considering or some options as to what you might want to consider and why you want to consider them. And we're here to help out if you want to have a membership site or training site as part of your business. So thank you very much. This is James Maduke speaking. We start, build, and grow membership and training sites. So if you want to teach online and spend some time sharing what it is that you know with people that you want to help, we're here to help. Okay, so take care and expect the best.